Assalamu alaikum students. How are you all? Hope you all are fine by the grace of Allah. Today we are going to read a chapter from your textbook, The Cruel Crane, which is at page number 71 till page number 79. So students, take out your books and place in front of you and let's start reading this chapter. At page number 71, we have a chapter, The Cruel Crane. Crane is a bird. You can see here, it's crane. Cruel crane, causing pain. It means, cruel means zalim, zulm karne wala. Cruel crane, it means causing pain to others. Now this chapter is about a story. Long ago, a wise spirit lived in a willow tree that stood by a certain lotus pond. It watched the creatures who lived in and around the pond and learned a lot about life. Now, here is a willow tree, and there was a spirit. There was a soul who used to live here. And that spirit used to watch all animals, all living things here, and that spirit has learned many things about life. Now, at that time, the water in the pond used to run short at the dry season. When there is a dry season, this pond used to be dry. Its water runs short. Even though the pond was not over large, it contained a good many fish. As you can see, it's a small pond, but it contained many fishes inside it. A crane who was cruel and heartless. Who makes other suffer, who causes pain to others, who has no feelings. A crane who was cruel and heartless visited one day. He was hungry. As he stood by the bank, he saw the fish and thought, I must outwit these fish somehow or other and make a prey of them. Once there was a crane who was there near the pond, and he was feeling hungry. So the crane made a plan to eat fish. When he saw the fish and thought, I must make them fool, make these fish fool, and make a prey of them, I'll eat them. And he went and sat down at the edge of water, thinking how he should do it. Then he sat down here and he was thinking what to do, how to make them fool, how to eat them, which trick to do. When the fish saw him, they hid under the lotus leaves and they asked him, what are you sitting there for? Lost in thought. Students, these are lotus leaves. When these fishes saw a crane sitting there, they asked, why are you sitting here and what are you thinking? First they hid themselves under these leaves and then they asked him, why are you sitting here and what are you thinking? The crane answered, I am sitting thinking about you, said he. Oh sir, what are you thinking about us? They asked. Fishes asked, what are you thinking about us? Why? He replied, "There is very little water in this pond, and but little for you to eat. The heat is so great, so I was thinking, what in the world will these fish do now?" "Yes, indeed, sir, what are we to do?" they cried. "If you will only do as I ask you, I will take you in my beak to a fine large pond covered with all the kinds of lotuses and put you into it," answered the crane. Okay, now he started making them fool. He showed them that he cares about them, and he he told them that he was worried about them, that pond is getting dry and how will the fishes survive. So he was telling them that those fishes should move to a large pond because it was already a small pond and it has its water was getting dry. So he planned to make them fool. 73. That a crane should take thought for the fishes is a thing unheard of, sir, since the world began. It's eating us one after the other that you are aiming at. All the fishes answered that since the world began, since that time from which the world started, crane cannot think of the fishes for their safety. So they answered that the crane was planning to eat them. They knew, all the fishes knew that it was a plan and the crane wanted to eat them. "Not I. So long as you trust me, I won't eat you. But if you don't believe me that there is such a pond, send one of you with me to go and see it." The crane told them, "There is a large pond, and one of these fishes should go with him to see there is a pond and to see that he will not eat that fish. One of that fish he will not eat." Then they trusted him and handed over to him one of their number, a big fellow, blind of one eye, whom they thought sharp and enough in any emergency, afloat and ashore. Okay, when the crane explained them that he wanted safety for them, so they trusted him. These all fishes trusted him and sent and handed over him one of the fish which is blind and sharp, very smart, and it can fast. So all the fishes thought that one blind fish should be handed over to the crane to see what is going to happen. The crane took him and let him go in the pond. Okay, crane took that blind fish to the large pond and let him go in the pond and leave it in the pond. He showed the fish the whole of it and brought him. Okay, he took that fish and brought him back. We are reading at page number 74. And let him go again close to the other fish, and he told them all the glories of the pond. The fish which was taken to the large pond, when it came back, it told all the story of the large pond to the remaining fishes. And when they heard what he said, they exclaimed, "All right, sir, you may take us with you." All the fishes agreed and said to Crane that he could take all of them to the large pond. Then the crane took the old half-blind fish first to the bank of the other pond and alighted in a willow tree growing on the bank there. But he threw it into a fork of the tree, struck it with his beak, and killed it, and then ate its flesh and threw its bone away at the foot of the tree. Then he went back and called out, I have thrown that fish in, let another one come. He took the fish and at the willow tree, and at the foot of the tree he ate the fish and threw its bone here. He ate fish flesh here, and then went back to that small pond and showed those fishes that he had dropped the fish in the pond. And in that manner he took all the fish one by one and ate them till he came back and found no more. In this way he ate all the fishes. But there was still a crab left behind there, and the crane thought he would eat him too, and called out, Okay, after eating all the fishes, he also planned to eat the crab. I say, good crab, I have taken all the fish away and put them into the fine large pond. Come along, I'll take you too. He offered the crab to lift it to a large pond. As he did, and as he shifted the fishes from a small pond to the large pond, and he was calling him to come along with him. But how will you take hold of me to carry me along? I'll bite hold of you with my beak. At page number 76. You will let me fall if you carry me like that. I won't go with you. Don't be afraid, I'll hold you quite tight all the way. Crab did not feel secured going with the crane. So the crane made him assure not to be afraid, and he'll hold him tight. Then said the crab to himself, if this fellow once got hold of fish, he would never let them go in pond. Now if he should really put me into the pond, it would be capital. But if he doesn't, then I'll cut his throat and kill him. So he said to him, Look here, friend, you won't be able to hold me tight enough, but we crabs have a famous grip. If you let me catch hold of your round neck with my claws, I shall be glad to go with you. Now here, the crab was clever. He was not fool like fish. So he decided not to go in the crane's beak. He decided to hold crane's throat, crane's neck like this. He did not want to go in its beak. He told him to hold its neck with its claws, so he'll be glad to go with him like this, holding its neck with its claws. And the other did not see that he was trying to outwit him, and agreed. Crane could not get that idea that he was being tricked. He was being made fool. So the crab caught hold of his neck with his claws as securely as a pair of blacksmith's pincer like tool, and called out, Off with you now. And the crane took him and showed him the pond and turned off towards the willow tree. Okay, when The crane reached that pond, that large pond where he wanted to take all the fishes and crab. When he reached there, then he turned off towards the willow tree. Okay, whenever he take the fishes there, he goes to the willow tree. So when he took the crab there, he took it to the willow tree, and he goes to the willow tree to eat the flesh of the animals. Uncle, cried the crab, the pond lies that way, but you are taking me this way. Uncle, crab shouted, Uncle, Uncle, he called uncle to the crane. The pond is there and you are taking me to the other direction. What is happening? Oh, that's it, is it? Answered the crane. Your dear little uncle, you very sweet nephew, you call me. Nephew is the son of brother or sister. It means when he call him uncle, so that crane called him nephew. You mean to understand, I suppose, that I am your slave, who has to lift you up and carry you about him. Now look at the heap of fish, bones lying at the root of that willow tree, just as I have eaten those fish, every one of them, just so I will devour you as well. Crane told the crab that he ate all the fishes and told him to see the bones of the fishes which he ate before. And he said to the crab that he will eat it too. Ah, those fishes got eaten through their own stupidity, answered the crab, but I am not going to let you eat me. Crab said to him that those fishes were stupid and they did stupidity, but he is not stupid and he will not allow the crane to eat him. On the contrary, it is you that I am going to destroy. For you in your folly have not seen that I was outwitting you. If we die both together, for I will cut off his head of yours. And at page number 78, cast it to the ground. And so saying, he gave the crane's neck a grip with his claws as with a vice. Then gasping and with tears trickling from his eyes and trembling with fear of death, the crane begged him, saying, O my lord, indeed I did not intend to eat you, grant me my life. When the crab held its crane's neck tightly and told him that he tricked him, so he couldn't eat the crab, and the crane started to apologize and ask for his life and told him that he did not wanted to eat crab. Well, step down into the pond and put me in there. The crab told crane to put the crab into the pond and let him in there. And he turned round and stepped down into the pond and placed the crab on the mud at its edge. The crane did as the crab told him to do. But the crab cut through its neck as clean as one would cut a lotus stalk with a hunting knife, and only then entered the water. The crane did as the crab told him. He put the crab in the water, and when he was putting the crab in the water, the crab cut his neck like a hunting knife. When the spirit who lived in the willow tree saw this strange affair, he made the wood resound with his plaudits, uttering in a pleasant voice the verse: the villain, though exceeding clever, shall prosper not by his villainy. He may win indeed, sharp-witted in deceit, but only as the crane hear from the crab. Hence, the approach of the crab was better than that of the fish. And the moral of the story, and these words which the tree said, is that even a trickster can be tricked by someone who is cleverer. Students, it's time to note down the working which you have to do in your copies. Firstly, you have to do words meaning. These words and these meanings you have to copy in your notebooks. After this, we have questions and answers. Totally, we have 5 questions and answers. Here is your question number 1. Question number 2. Question number 3. Question number 4. Question number 5. This is written by mistake. This is question number 5. This is not question number 4. Students, now we have reference to context. This is the first part of reference to context. We have 2 questions, A and B. This is the second part of reference to context, in which we have again 2 questions, A and B. After this, we have exercise, in which we have to define words and expressions. You have to copy this, and after this you have to make sentences yourself. You have to use these words in your own sentences. Take care, students. Allah Hafiz.